Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Together We Thrive series. And today's topic is Make Your First Impression the Best Impression. Yes, it's this time we're going to talk about grooming tips for ladies and gents, especially when they're attending job interviews. We have two wonderful speakers today. They are Rina Baha and Miss Ranukka Singham. Let me introduce you to Miss Rina. All right. Rina is a certified professional image, color, and business protocol consultant from the Institute of Image Training and Testing International, Canada. She also has done a course in Ferial Training and Image Consulting Australia, Sweat Advancement Centers in Berhad, and APIP Malaysia. Rina conducts trainings related to professional corporate grooming, business and social etiquette, finishing school programs, and a few others. Yeah. And Miss Ranukka Singham, throughout her 10-year career, she has helped develop over 8,000 professionals. As a certified image consultant, she has done personal image transformations for sales reps, entrepreneurs, medical professionals, and C-level executives. She's also an NLP practitioner, a men's styling consultant, and an HRDF trainer. She holds a degree in optometry. Ladies, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and how is work from home for both of you? Renu?
It's been okay so far. I've been starting to get used to it, especially meeting clients and friends online through video calls. Yeah, but of course, nothing beats physical meetings, right?
Okay, and you're very active on LinkedIn as well.
Yes.
And
Keeps me
Rina?
busy.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Keeps me busy, I mean.
Yes. Yeah. And Rina, what about you?
Yeah, same as Ranukka, because at this stage, we can't do much, but I do a lot of cooking nowadays. For my families, and on and off I do. Okay, I'm in process of doing my ebook.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yes.
So now
I'm
is
trying to.
yes, yes. And now is the time, the best time to, do all the things in your to-do list.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What we are going to do is we're going to start with grooming tips for the ladies first, and then we go for some tips for the men. Yeah.
Sure.
I'd like to start by asking this question: why is it important to take so much of trouble to look good for the interview? Renu, can I start with you?
Okay. So first and foremost, I just want to share that when it comes to image, right, I have done quite an extensive amount of research and survey with a lot of hiring managers. And what I realized is this: a lot of times when you ask them, is image really that important when it comes to interviews? They will tell you, it's okay, it's good to have, but when a candidate comes really badly dressed, for example, that's the first thing they comment. So what I can see that the conclusion of this whole thing is that a lot of hiring managers or interviewers, right, they expect the candidates to dress that way. It is not something that is good to have, but it's a necessity to have. And you don't get a second chance to build a good first impression. So I really feel that this is something that a lot of job seekers really need to take into consideration. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. And Rina, what about you?
Okay, for me, I agree with Renuka, because sometimes because they don't really educate the candidates, right? Because if they hire the candidates, they just get them in and recruit them and just leave it whatever their responsibility towards their jobs. But after that, they just doing nothing for the candidates. For me, I really looking forward for companies, or those who are HR manager especially. We should advise them to do the grooming or the business etiquette program with us, because it enhance their skills, their knowledge on image, because image as we know that image is very important, as we see it as an image consultant, this is because image is very important in terms of your first impression. Yeah. So to attend the interview, what they need to have with them, or they need to bring with them, their appearance, behavior, and communication. It's a one complete, say, it's a one complete skills they need to know and need to do. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I know that
Agree.
companies do conduct training programs for corporate and branding, corporate image and branding. However, these are people who have already got the job,
Okay.
right? So, what about fresh graduates? What about young
Mm,
graduates? Like, where do they get some tips?
yeah,
So, that is why we are here.
right.
I'm here with the two image consultants to give you some tips on how to dress well
Mm,
and how to create a good impression,
mm,
first good impression. Yeah.
mm,
But
yeah.
overall, looking at the big picture, what's the impression the candidate should give the minute they walk through the door?
Okay.
Yeah, Ranukka.
Yeah, I would say, right, even before they walk through the door, the most attractive thing that that a candidate can actually do, right, is to be prepared. And what do I mean by prepared is that before you even enter the door, right, I always tell university students when I teach them on image, right, that you need to really do extensive research on the company that you're going for. Because right now, even with image, there is no one size fit all kind of approach. We can't tell you that, okay, for an interview, you need to look this kind of way. Because right now with the ever expanding industries that you see, there's startups, there's fintech, there's different types of industry, really has different types of dress codes and whatnot. So prepare. I feel that the impression, as let's say that when they walk in, right, it's important for them to look pleasant, not
Yeah.
flustered, and very well prepared. That means you're just very calm. So I think later on when we speak about social etiquette, for example, punctuality really is one of the, I would say, as a hiring manager, is one of the most attractive assets anyone can have, be on time for your interview. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rina, would you like to add to that?
Okay. For me, the main thing that you have to prepare before you enter the interview, actually, there's a lot of things that you need to prepare, as what Renuka said just now. Especially, the first thing you have to bring with you is your smile. Yeah, your smile, your body posture, and of course, your body language too. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Now, let me start by asking for tips for the ladies. We will start from the top
Mm-hmm.
to the bottom, meaning we will start from the hair, the styling, right up to your shoes.
Mm,
Let me start with a question for Renuka.
right.
Could you
Okay.
share some tips for hair styling? Yes.
Okay. So I think the most important thing when it comes to an interview is that you want to minimize distraction. So anything that will cause a distraction to the interviewer, for the interviewer to stop paying attention to you saying something and pay attention to what's on you, is a big no. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's why I always say that whatever hairstyle that you decide of going with, make sure that it is neat. It doesn't have distractive pins, things dangling all over. So those things are really not so ideal. So I always say that make sure that your hairstyle is neat enough that it will not be it will not be something that you have to pay attention to when you're in the interview. Example, right? If let's say I was in an interview and my hair was like this, what will happen is that when I'm talking to the interviewer, I will keep on doing like that, like this.
Hmm.
So it's very distracting, and it also kind of causes the candidate to be very flustered. It also shows a sign of nervousness in that matter, right? So make sure that it's neat, it's tucked behind, it's proper. There's nothing here that is distracting the interviewer away from what you're saying. I think that's very important. So on that note, right, I think for hairstyles, short, always make sure it's behind the ear. If it's mid-length or even below the shoulder, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in a bun or tied up. It's fine if you want to let it down, just as long as it's very neat. It doesn't have any frizz. I think that is sufficient enough for me. Yeah. And on hairstyling tips, maybe another thing I want to also emphasize is color. A lot of university students would always ask me, is it okay to have your hair colored when you go for an interview? I think it's a yes and no. For ladies, I will always say you have more leeway. You can have your hair colored, but of course with more conservative tones for that matter. Yeah, nothing, nothing out of the ordinary lah, I suppose. Yeah.
But I also suppose it depends on the industry you're applying
Yes.
to, right? Unless you're in
Yeah.
entertainment, perhaps you can have a bit of a shade of blue, a shade of pink. But I think for more conservative jobs, you have to be a bit more mindful of that, right? Okay.
Correct.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I also heard that those who have frizzy hair, like mine, frizzy hair a bit, they have to like gel it up so that it doesn't look all ruffled.
I think it's okay. In my opinion, right? It is not to the point where you have to like tame it down, everything, tied it down to the back. I think it's perfectly fine for people, especially when you're having wavy hair, to have some frizz, as long as it looks like you made an effort to at least tuck it back, at least have it, combed. These things are important. I suppose the end goal here is that you need to understand what kind of perception you want to create when someone sees you, right? Because when you're sitting down in an interview room, or even let's say it's a video call, right? People are seeing just this top half, so your hair is probably one of the things that can be quite distracting if you don't really tend to it well. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And I would like to ask for some tips from Rina. How about ladies, young ladies with scarf or tudung? What advice would you give them?
Okay, for ladies in tudung or hijab, yeah, if scarf meaning scarf that we tuck on the neck, but for ladies in tudung or hijab, usually I prefer them, or I advise them to wear more towards pastel color. And in terms of accessories, as Ranuka said just now, no dangling accessories, just
Mm,
a very minimum accessories.
okay.
Yeah. So I advise that for those who are attending for the interview and for those who are wearing hijab or tudung, maximum 3 accessories,
Mm,
yeah, around your hijab, right?
mm,
So the color of hijab need to be more toward pastel color instead of striking color.
mm,
Striking color are not advisable, yeah,
mm,
unless if you want to wear like a neutral color.
mm,
Neutral color, like black color, white color, yeah,
mhm,
navy blue, dark gray, yeah, that
mm,
it's all neutral color, but not the striking color like red color, green, something like
mhm.
that.
Okay.
So more towards pastel or neutral colors,
Mm,
ladies in hijab or tudung, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And I think also usually the scarf matches the attire they are wearing, the baju they are wearing as well, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
but it
yes,
has to be something pastel. Then it's a bit more, I think,
yes.
pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah, more pleasant, more softened, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you are because for me, because you are the candidate who are people are the panel are interviewing you, so the eyes of the panel, you have to catch the eyes of the panels, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't wear something like very striking, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not it's we don't say that it's a wrong color, but it's not proper, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Now, Renuka, what about dressing tips
Yeah.
for ladies? If they are wearing blouse
Mm,
and skirt, normally you match a blouse and a skirt, or a blouse and a pants, a pair of pants.
right.
But, your advice on this, please.
Okay, so back to like what I've mentioned previously, like to also give a call to the HR or to check and research what is the dress code like. I think before we go into these tips, right, candidates also need to understand when you do this, right, when you speak to the hiring manager or the HR and understand what exactly is appropriate to wear for the interview, it shows such a high level of eagerness and sincerity. You really want this job, and you're really preparing yourself for that.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have find out what exactly is the dress code that is suitable for an interview, then it's really important to understand the little things about how the attire can come into, like, a complete and proper way of portraying your first impression. So if I can give a few tips that I noticed, whether it's because I teach image to university students, or whether it's when I was in corporate, I also hired quite a bit, is really, first things first, from the top to the bottom, the blouse, right? I noticed one thing that some fresh graduates don't really pay attention to is maybe the buttons in the front. So if you're someone who is maybe a bit more heavy chested, you want to avoid blouses that have buttons in the front. I think that really kind of becomes very uncomfortable for you. And I think cleavage, the where your collar is, that's, I think that you might think it's a common sense, but a lot of people might have overlooked that as well, to not have it too low. Because remember, for all the candidates that are listening, it's important to feel comfortable, and so that you don't have to keep on pulling and pushing, because that really shows that you're nervous. It's very fidgety, and you yourself sorry, you also feel very uncomfortable, and that maybe would affect your confidence level as well. So the front part, that's one thing I noticed as well. And secondly, if you're someone who's wearing a long sleeve, like what I'm wearing right now, you might want to also make sure that, where the cuff area is, it's not too long, nothing that is over your wrist bone area, so that at least it looks very polished, like it's not sloppy. It's not too oversized that way. Yeah. Skirt length, of course, without a doubt, it has to be knee length and below. I think it's not really about being conservative or being old-fashioned. It's really about, making you feel comfortable. Imagine if you're wearing a short skirt and going for the interview, and you don't know the environment of the interview. Suddenly you sit down, you realize, oh no, there's no table. So it's just the chair, and then opposite is the interviewer. Now you are wearing a short skirt. When you sit down, it hikes up even more. You feel very uncomfortable. You'll be like pulling and tugging, so it's really very unsightly as well. So I'm just thinking on the perspective of having comfort in mind when you're thinking of the dressing. Yeah. Stockings, obviously skin color, nothing black. Black stockings have never been corporate or appropriate for work at all. That's really more of a dinner or cocktail kind of setting. And the most common questions I get when it comes to clothing for women is that, is it a necessity to wear a suit for women, blazer, matching blazer with skirt or pants? And to that, I think I'll go back to your research, right? When you ask the HR manager, what did you get? So from there, you can understand whether, wearing a suit is necessary, or is it going to be an overdress? Yeah. But I would say that if you are in a group setting interview, because right now it's a very common thing that I hear some companies, when they hire, they do interview, they do it by the masses, right? So one shot, there's 9 people in the room. Then I would suggest you to wear a formal suit. If you can, if you are able to find one, or you're able to purchase one, go smart, because your image, right, how you appear is the best way, and the most subtly the most subtle way to stand out. Yeah. So think about like your interview session, and that's also one of the questions you want to ask your hiring manager or the interviewer, what to prepare. So asking them, how's the interview setting like? Who's going to be interviewing me? Is it an alone thing, or is it like a group session? Yeah.
Yeah, I think nowadays students in the colleges and university, they have to do projects, they have to do presentations in their second year, third year, fourth year. So it is wise to invest in a good jacket, good blouse, or skirt, or a good pair of shoes, so they can start doing it now itself, right?
Yes, definitely. I always say go for the safe colors. For women, I think either a navy blue or a white is nice. Maybe not black. I would always tell even men or women, like, maybe don't make your first suit a black suit. I think go for something like a navy blue or a white. I think that's better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought black suit was like the requirement, no?
Oh no, I mean, like, well, there are certain situations, or what, that wearing a black suit might mean something different. Like, it might be a sad occasion, a funeral, so like, to avoid that, I guess navy is a safer choice. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now, What about, sorry, Renuka, I've got to ask you again. Like some candidates, they wear cardigans when they come for interviews. Are they considered formal?
Mm. I think it's okay to wear it as long as the cardigan A is fitted well, and B, the color, right, is not something that is too washed off. Because the thing about cardigan is it's wool material, it's cashmere, right? So
Yes.
sometimes it can really kind of drain your face off, if that makes sense. Like it really makes you look a little bit more dull if you don't choose the right color. So for candidates that decide like, okay, I want to wear cardigan, makes me look a bit more intellectual, more nerdy, you know, you want to really think about your fit and also the color that you're going for. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Rina, I would like to ask you, what
Yeah.
about if like
Uh-huh.
some ladies, they want to wear baju kurung for an interview? What are your
Okay.
tips for that?
Okay, for ladies, they can wear baju kurung for the interview, but I suggested if they, as what Renuka said just now, I prefer if they wear a blazer or suits. It's more professional, yeah, and it's more, you will look more intelligent and knowledgeable with your suits and blazer. Okay,
Mm,
it doesn't matter if you want to wear baju kurung, but to make sure that your baju kurung is, I prefer if you want to attend for the interview, the baju kurung, make sure that it's a plain color
mm,
beside of lots of pattern, fashion or designs.
Mm.
mm,
Yeah, but if they insisted to wear the baju kurung with the designs, make sure that it cannot be more than um, okay, usually what I teach to my student, yeah, or my participants, um, they have to wear something like not more than their cheekbone size, yeah, cheekbone
Oh, okay.
size, or yeah, in terms of the designs, yeah. And
Mhm.
then in terms of wearing the accessories, usually they have to measure, usually I teach them how to measure your accessories, yeah. So how I teach them to use the measure the accessories by using your three fingers,
Mhm.
right? Then you measure it. If it's not more than your three fingers, it's okay. You can wear it because we don't want to make you. We don't want to make the accessory look more bigger than your face.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
bigger than your face structure.
Okay.
So the main important is it's you. It's about your knowledge, yeah? And it's about who you are. Yeah, be yourself whenever you attend the interview.
Mm,
Okay, back to baju kurung, yeah. Okay, I prefer if the ladies, yeah, wear a plain baju kurung, yeah, more towards say pastel color, or if some people they don't really comfortable with the pastel color, you can go with the neutral color, yeah, like navy blue, yeah, as what Ranukka just say just now, avoid black color,
Mm.
mhm,
right? Okay, but as I said just now,
mhm,
uh if possible, yeah, please don't wear baju kurung,
mm.
right? If you want to look more professional, please wear the two-piece or three-piece blazer or suits, yeah,
Oh,
because it will shows your first impression. Yeah,
oh,
I didn't say that you cannot wear baju kurung or you will look like kampung girl. No, right? But I know some ladies, especially Malays, they love to wear baju kurung, especially student
mm,
whenever they attending the interview. But I always stress out to them that you have or you need to have at least or purchase one suits or blazer for yourself.
Mm.
You have to
Mm.
prepare yourself. Yeah,
mm,
you have to show yourself to the interviewer that you are professional enough
mm,
to get the job.
mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and of course less accessory. As we
Oh,
said, as we said, and as we are aware, less is more.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Right. I think whatever we are wearing, it's important to feel comfortable in
Mm.
so
Yes.
that you don't have that extra worry or stress over there, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And what about shoes? Renu, I would like to ask you this question. Shoes with heels, without heels, what's your...
Okay. I thank you for this question because that's one of my passion. Yeah, I love shoes. I don't know how many I have already, but I think one thing that I always noticed about candidates, right, is that wow, if some of them are aware of how to dress up, sometimes they come with like really nice top, really nice bottom, but then the shoes all lari, you know.
Mm.
So that's one thing that I always emphasize in classes as well. Shoes, right, is also one aspect to complete your entire look.
Mm.
So when it comes to heels, right, my biggest point here is again not because it's a conservative point of view, but rather it's just for safety reasons. I would always advise candidates not to wear anything above 3 inches.
Mm.
Don't wear anything that has a platform, because when you have a platform, that means the heel is automatically quite high already. Yeah,
Mm.
nothing that
Yes.
way. And if you feel like you don't like to wear heels, like for me, I generally don't enjoy wearing heels that much. I feel like I tower around people a lot if I wear heels too tall. So I wear flats, but I always tell people pay attention to the material of the shoe. Don't go for anything that is canvas material or it looks like a sneakers, go for something, example, like a leather flats, something which is PVC. If you're not a big fan of leather, the
Mhm.
finishing is very important. Yeah.
Okay.
So flats to me is it's acceptable, but just the material.
Mm.
And on that note, right, if let's say you are someone who wants to wear heels, the next question a lot of people ask me is that what about wedges?
Mm.
Wedges are allowed. And I would say that, it really depends on what type. So those with corkscrew material,
Mhm.
those are very beach, very seaside kind of vibe. Those are very casual. So no, if you
Mm.
really like to wear wedges because you feel it's more comfortable for your heel, then
Mhm.
you should go for something that the color is exactly the same as the shoe itself. Then that's fine for me. Yeah. But
Mm.
anything that is open toe, meaning to say sandals, strappy sandals, I would advise you against that actually. Yeah.
Mm.
In fact, even when if you're going to wear heels, I would always ask people to check how your heels are. Is it in good condition? Because if it's not, right, the heel area, as you walk on wooden flooring, or sometimes, there's a lot of the sound, the click, 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 click,
Mhm.
that can be also a little bit distracting. Imagine you're going to the interview, you're nervous, and then you hear yourself walking that way. It's not
Mm.
really that helpful. So all these little things, just be very mindful of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no sandals, no platform shoes, and
Yeah. No.
heels. Yeah, something comfortable, not more than 3 inches,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
And color wise, right? I would always say this is really about aesthetics, right? So color wise, I would say maybe if let's say you're a university student and you're right now starting off and you want to invest in a good pair of shoes, maybe don't go into like something too funky. I would always say stay to the neutrals like black and skin color, not white, yeah, skin color, yeah,
Mm.
nude shoes. So it's either one that actually helps you to be able to match with different types of clothing that you have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Rina, I think
Yes.
you can answer this on handbags.
Okay.
Your...
Handbags. Okay, for me, handbags is very important, especially for the ladies. Yeah. Okay, whenever you entering the interviewer room, so make sure you have to bring also your handbag, and make sure your handbag will be on your left. Okay, why left? Because
Mm.
once you have seated to the you have seated, so your handbag need to be put on your left side. The reason why is when you have done your interview, so you have to stand up and you have to do the handshake, right? So your handshake need to be done on your
Right.
right side, right? So your handbag, because while you are standing, so you have to take your handbag together with you. So
Mm.
that's why your handbag need to be on your left
Mm.
side.
Okay.
Yeah. And whenever, okay, in terms of the colors of the handbags, yeah, again, no striking colors,
Mm.
more towards neutral colors or
Mhm.
pastel colors. And again, in terms of sizes of the handbags, so if you are at the body size of petite person, petite is very small, very small person. So make sure your handbag is not towards to the medium or bigger size. Yeah, your body structure and your handbag sizes need to complement each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah, all right. And then other than that, okay, in case that if you are bringing the documents here, handbag, okay, I prefer it's better you just bring your document handbags without the handbags.
Mm.
It should be okay unless you want to bring both, then there's no wrong with that. Yeah, you can either bring the document bags only or both handbag and document bags. Yeah, it's up to the candidates,
Okay.
no wrong or right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think when we talk about handbags, another thing I'd like to remind job seekers is that not to put your handbag on the table.
Yes, right.
It's like my handbag is very precious. I have to put it on the table. No,
Yes,
you don't want to
yes,
give that impression. Just put it down,
yes,
no matter you're
Yeah.
Prada or a,
yes,
and just put it
yes,
on the floor.
Yeah.
yes,
It
on the
shouldn't be
floor.
a problem. Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
and on the
yes,
left side, like what Rina said.
yes, yes.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. And Renuka,
Mm.
glasses. What about reading glasses?
Oh, yes. That's also my first love, right? Eyewear. So I think that for eyewear or jewelry or watches for that matter, in terms of accessories, I agree with what Rina mentioned just now. Less is more,
Yeah.
right? So you want to make sure that things aren't very distracting for that matter. So in terms of eyewear, I would always advise candidates um, to wear eyewears that are appropriate to your face shape.
Mm.
So I understand that right now it is a trend to wear the oversized style. That's fair and well, but then you don't want the color or the entire shape or look to be something that the interviewer sees first.
Mm.
Because the problem with eyewear is that a lot of people get very caught up with trend and they buy things that are very in trend right now,
Mm.
but and fail to understand that it is important to find something that complements your face shape, because you don't want the situation where the interviewer sees your glasses but not your
Yeah,
face.
Mm.
It has to be in one together with your face shape, right? So I would always say go for something that is very something complementing to your face shape, skin tone, and nothing too thick. So I've shared this in LinkedIn once as well. Like the one of the tips where how people can tell that you look more matured and sophisticated is actually the temple of your eyewear, the
Mm.
side of it. So the thinner the eyewear at the side, the more matured and more sophisticated you look. Yeah. So I would always say if you want to buy something or wear glasses for a business meeting or like an interview for that matter, choose something that's a bit thinner at the side. So that kind of makes a difference.
Mm.
Yeah, and I always say that try not to go for something that has that screams the brand at the side. There are some branded eyewear where from few kilometers away you can tell what brand is it at the side. Maybe for an interview, not so ideal. Yeah.
yeah,
um
agree.
yeah, so that's one thing I would say. Jewelry, same thing, nothing dangling, no drop earrings or nothing long. A simple studded earring is good enough. I think the purpose of an earring is just also to give a little bit more of reflection, brighten you a little bit better.
Mm.
Some people ask me, what about statement necklaces? Is it okay to wear it?
Mm.
I would say not really. For interviews, again, you want the attention of the interviewer to be constantly at what you're saying, because
Mm.
the minute you sit down, that's where your substance starts coming into play, right?
Mm.
So if you have, like, let's say, like what we're wearing right now, like a very not right now, but if you have like a very big necklace, that's what people will be looking at, right? Like,
Mm.
because humans, you're naturally drawn to something that attracts you. And
Mm.
so
Yeah, right.
something subtle is good enough.
Mm.
Same goes to watches. Some university students ask me, is it wrong to wear a sports watch to an interview? I say it's not wrong, but it just doesn't complement your entire look, right?
Mm.
Yes.
You're already wearing formal, you look so good, and suddenly it's a G-Shock, So maybe you want to tone it down, something subtle, something tasteful, a leather or maybe a metal watch that is not too big. I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think these are things that especially those in the final year, they should start investing in little things. They don't
Yeah,
need to be expensive,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
exactly.
all these things. So when you even have a presentation, right, you can wear
Yes.
them, and it really makes you look very professional. Yeah.
Yep,
Yes. Yeah.
definitely.
Rina, would you like to add anything on accessories?
Okay.
You
On
said just now,
accessory.
like for
Yeah.
tudung, when you're wearing
Yeah. When
that
you're wearing
water.
tudung, that yes, I think Renuka. I agree with Renuka just now. She said no danglings.
Yes.
Yeah. No something like long earrings or whatnot.
Mm.
Okay. But for those who are wearing tudung, I did mention just now that maximum is 3 brooches that they can wear, but only a small brooches, not the big one. And
Mm.
they should know how to wear the brooches appropriately. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Not bigger than their 3 fingers. I always
Mm.
teach my participants on that.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the easiest way whereby they can know whether the brooches either suits them or not. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to ask Rina this some tips on this. What about
Okay.
perfumes and deodorants?
Mm.
Okay. On perfume and deodorants. Okay. Actually, some of us we don't like to wear perfumes, right? And same goes to the deodorants. Okay. So for me, you have to wear either one because your body odor is very strong because we are Malaysian, so you can see our weather outside there. It's hot, right? And um, the tips of how should you know whether the perfumes really suits you or not. Yeah. So whenever you go to the shopping mall at the perfume counter, so what you need to do is spray the perfume on your wrist. Yeah,
Mm.
on your wrist. Yeah,
Mm.
and let it be say for within 15 minutes minimum. Yeah,
Mm.
you can go for maximum like 30 minutes.
Mm.
Yeah, to make sure that the smell really blend with your body odor. Yeah.
Mm.
So how should you spray your perfume on you is usually we spray at your neck. Yeah. Both right and your left. Yeah. At your hand wrist. All right. And that should be fine. You shouldn't spray all over the way. Yeah, from top to toe. You don't need that. Yeah, just a bit of on your neck and on your wrist. Yeah. In terms of perfume, we have a few kind of perfume. We have we have EDT, EDP. Yeah, EDP is stronger than EDT. Sorry. Yeah, EDP it can last for 8 to 9 hours.
Mm.
EDT lesser. Yeah, it can only last between 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, like cologne is more to men's.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
men's. Ladies don't wear colognes.
Mm.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. So unless you want to literally take the interviewer's breath away, then
Yeah.
you spray so much, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and I think also in this climate, and you're taking the public transport, you have to walk quite a bit, so
yes,
we would end up perspiring.
yes,
So it's good to have a little perfume or whatever it is in your
yes,
handbag, and
yes. I agree
just
with you.
quickly spray a little bit, right?
Yes, yes,
and
yes,
and added to the stress of being in the interview,
yes.
we are
Yeah,
that not sweating, but we are perspiring. Yes, we are
Yeah.
yes.
perspiring. Yeah. And what about, this is a bit of sensitive, what about body odor and mouth odor, especially mouth odor? Yeah, again, you don't want to knock anyone off, right?
Yes, yes.
So is it advisable to quickly like rinse your mouth or brush your teeth? I don't know what is your advice on this?
Right. For me, of course, we as a human, we have to drink a lot of plain water. Yeah, it's a good thing. You need to drink a lot of plain water. Okay, let's say you want to attend for the interview, right? So you have to prepare on your body odor, yeah, on your mouth, right? whether it's smelly or not. So I agree with you, Sumati, that we need to bring the mouth spray. Yeah, we have to prepare it. Yeah, make sure you put it in your handbag, and before you attend the interview, you just spray a bit, yeah, on your mouth. Yeah,
Mm,
or I prefer, or I suggested that if you can just chew the chewing gum, yeah, the Mentos thing, or the Mentos sweets, right, to make sure you don't have any smelly breath.
mm.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we are not saying like everyone has this problem, but I think some with
yeah.
halitosis
Some,
problem
yes,
may
yes,
want to do
yes,
this, and also remember to spit out the chewing gum when you are entering.
yes, yes, yeah,
It's not very nice to speak
yes,
while you're chewing it.
yes.
So yeah, spit it out. Okay, Renu,
Hmm.
a question for you. Is
Yes.
makeup necessary? Some ladies will say like, I don't like
Hmm.
makeup, right? So what is your take on this?
I think it's absolutely necessary. And I'm saying this with the perspective that makeup is not really to alter how you look, but rather to enhance what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, right, because we are Southeast Asian, we are more yellow in tone, especially like for Malay Indians. Generally, for the under eye, right, no matter how much you sleep, sometimes by default genetics, you do have some dark circles.
Yes.
And if you totally go barefaced, right, for an interview, you are, no matter how energized you are, you will just look very tired.
Mm.
And you don't look like you're geared up for the interview. So I would always tell candidates, right, that it is just very basic makeup that you need to have, because I think for some university students, if they have been diligently looking at YouTube makeup videos, a lot of them, right, sometimes when I go for a image class, I see some of them, right, wow, they have contour, they have highlight, everything is great. But for the majority of university students, they don't know where to start,
Mm.
and they also fear that it is also a budget constraint. No, if I have to buy so many makeup products, it's going to be a waste of my money.
Mm.
So I would always say that to freshen your face up, the important thing that you want to emphasize on is lipstick, a blusher, and maybe if you that's the first thing I would go for, and then maybe a very good CC cream. So
Mm.
it's just these few things to kind of just freshen your face up. I know some people say that, oh wow, I have to learn how to do my eyebrows. What about eyeliner? To me, that's kind of intermediate already. For the beginners, that's the first thing you need to do.
Mm.
In fact, for my classes, right, I go one step further and just to teach them how to double products. So example for me, if I'm just going for a normal day-to-day meet up with clients or friends, I actually use my lipstick as my blusher.
Mm.
So it kind of makes the color look very similar that way, and it's just a very a light tint to kind of like brighten your face a bit. So what
Cool.
I do is that I apply the lipstick on, and I just take my fourth finger, I just swipe it, and I just do like that, and
Mm.
that it gives you a little bit of like a tint. Yeah. So in that sense, for candidates, they just have to buy two things: a nice CC cream or a tinted moisturizer, and a nice lip color.
Yeah.
And on the lip color, I usually tell candidates, don't go for something really bright. Like I've seen some university students coming for the class with the signature Ruby Woo matte,
Mm.
very red, very bright red, right? I think that's cute for, certain occasions, but for an interview, let's dial it down a bit.
Mm.
I like what Rina mentioned, like even for tudung and all that, something pastel, it looks more friendlier, you look more approachable, right? So maybe a nice pink lipstick is good,
Mm.
and try to stay away from gloss,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
gloss means, right, your whole lips is all like very oily, it's very watery, and again, it's very distracting.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if you are choosing to wear matte lipstick, you
Mm.
have to really make sure that your lips are well moisturized, because if you have
Yes.
cracked lips and you wear matte lipstick on, it
Mm.
shows immediately when you start talking or laughing, right? It's all the cracks there already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe a sheer lipstick would be the best choice. If this is your first time buying makeup, maybe a sheer lipstick would be a good one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's for ladies especially. It's good to invest in good products but
Yeah.
not too costly, right?
Correct.
Because
Yes.
anyway, like to buy a lipstick, it's going to last you at least for
Quite
4 5
some time. Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it's good so that it doesn't damage your skin as well.
Yes.
And I
exactly.
was also told, because I've attended one session on grooming before, and I was told
Yeah.
not to use like brown or maroon, dark maroon lipsticks because it makes you look very fierce, very garang. Yeah.
Ah,
What do you think about this?
I think it really depends on your skin tone, but I feel that for on the safe side, maybe not. I don't think it's just garang. Like, I guess, right, for people who choose to wear brown tones or maroon, right, and if you don't do anything up here, it's
Mm,
bare here, you're just doing that, right, it
mm,
really it doesn't it doesn't help at all, you know, in terms of brightening your skin. In fact, it makes you look even more dull.
mm,
So I know like sometimes candidates ask me, right, oh, I want to look like, you know, like Kim Kardashian, very nude color, very brown matte lipstick. I said, yeah, but you know, you have to understand how much work has been done for
mm.
that lipstick to look good on that face, you know. Like if you're just going to use the lipstick by itself, I don't think it would look good. Yeah,
Mm. I think to a large extent, lipstick changes the your appearance
yeah,
overall. So
Yes.
definitely.
when you use like what you suggested, something like pink or some light pastel shades, it
Yeah,
can be
berry color maybe.
very pleasant, very pretty,
Yeah,
as opposed to something which is like maroon or brown.
red or like, yeah,
Hmm.
something too striking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, Rina, what about
Yeah.
this? Goes both for men and for ladies.
Okay.
What about like your hands, fingers, nail polish or nail polish? What is your advice?
Okay, for ladies here, I prefer if they don't wear, okay, for non-Muslim, usually they will be wearing the Q-tex, right? The
Mm,
color nails. Okay, I prefer if they can wear it, no problem, but they have to wear the the natural colors.
mhm,
Natural colors mean it can't seize on your nails, yeah.
mm.
The cream color, right? The white color, yeah, and or the natural color, right? But no 3D color on your nails, please. Because I saw some of the candidates, they just came in and I saw with the 3D nails,
Mm.
yeah. So
We are
it's not
supposed to
appropriate.
impress the interviewer, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to impress the interviewer, not the nails. All right. So, and then for Muslim, usually I also saw that they love to wear inai, right?
Mm,
Mm,
Inai with the orange color.
mm,
So I don't prefer they wear inai on the hand nails.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
it's not appropriate whenever you want to attend for the interview
mm,
because there will be a lot of distraction on that. Yeah.
mm.
mm,
Okay.
All right.
But I believe like essentially the nails need to be trimmed or cut if you want to keep them
Yes.
short. But if you want to have
Yes.
longer nails, then shape them nicely.
Yes.
mm.
Yeah. And if you have
Yes.
nail polish, then make sure it's polished well. It's not like chipped. It looks
Mm.
quite
Yes.
tedious, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
sorry, and please don't bite your fingers, eh? And don't meaning don't bite your nails.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And where do you place your hands? Like when you're having the interview, right? Where do you place your hands?
You have to place down. Yeah. Yeah, on your lap,
Okay.
right? Yeah. You can't put on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I would like to go next. Any other tips for ladies? Anything else you'd like to share, Renuka?
Um, I think we have covered quite a bit of things. I think it's just my take home message for women, right? Especially female candidates, is that it doesn't need to be overwhelming. You just need to start small, buy a few basic things, and then as you get the when you get the job, only you start adding things on. Yeah, you don't have to go one shot all. Yeah,
Yeah. Like what you said just now, a lipstick doubles up as
as
your
a
blush.
blush. Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as like when you go in and you look pleasant, presentable,
Yes.
with a little tinge of blush and
Yeah.
your lipstick, you look
Yeah.
presentable.
And if you have oily or combination skin, make sure that your T-zones are not like oiled up. So
Mm.
I think it's just all these little things. You just want the candidate to not focus on the fact that you don't look that the fact that you look bad or you look like awkwardly out of place. You just want to be pleasant that way. Just think of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you. Now let's move on for tips for men. I would like to ask Renuka, what
Mm.
about tips for shirts and pants? Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so I think usually when it comes to these image classes, right, women are generally more interested to know what to wear. Men, on the other hand, think that, oh, okay, I just wear shirt and pants, full stop lah. You know, that's all, nothing to it, right? But there is so many things when it comes to the fitting of the men's shirt, pants, that a lot of these graduates or a lot of these university students, right, might not really have noticed and might not know it's something important. So let's talk a little bit about shirt first. I think first things first, it's important for the candidate to understand there's different types of shirt cuttings. There's slim fit, there's regular fit. In fact, most recently I saw in a certain retail outlet, there's something called muscle fit as well.
Wow. Muscle fit. What is that?
Yeah, muscle fit means, right, it has some elasticity in the shirt where it really just wraps your muscle so that when you flex, right, it looks very obvious that you know you've got
Ah.
muscle.
And this is especially for those who work out and
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Malaysia we say abang sado, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
But to that, right, I want to say that what I see with a lot of university students is that there's an extremity. It's either some of them that I can see, maybe they work out, like you mentioned, they wear one size smaller. It's so tight because they want people to see the body frame, right? Or look at the guns, right? And you have the other extremity where they are wearing one size too big, which is too loose. So the key takeaway for guys, right, is that looking at the fit, right, first thing is making sure the line really sits at the ball of your shoulder. Secondly, making sure that, you know, the cuff area really just sits at the wrist area. And thirdly, of course, making sure that the shirt, right, when you tuck it in, there's no excess fabric at the side.
Okay.
So if you're someone who is tall and lanky or a bit more petite, you should go for something like a slim fit. If you're someone where you are a bit more stout, you know, with a tummy, then go for a regular fit. So understand your body frame before you choose types of shirts, but never go for something that's too tight. So for those of you who have great body, congratulations, you succeeded in working out in your body. But an interview is not where you want to flaunt it, lah. Yeah.
And of course, whatever color, whatever material you're getting, it has to be ironed well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lazy, then go for the ones that are more like, I think there are easy iron options out there. So go for those so that when you iron, you know, it doesn't take you so much effort to press it well, right? So these are some things that they need to be very mindful of. Pants, of course. I think for university students, again, the extremity, right? I do see some of them wearing what we call the ankle pants, where it falls slightly at the ankle area and they don't wear socks and it's very hipster vibe, you know. Again, depending on industry that you're going for the interview, if you're going for something more creative, like an ad agency or entertainment, then no judgment. You can do whatever you want. But if this is a conservative industry that you're going into, I need to just advise you that the break of your pants needs to be at least half of your shoe. Cannot be too, it cannot be too long, cannot be too short. Yeah.
Okay.
And the colors of the shirt, I think, of course, if this is your first shirt, I hope it's not, but if it is your first shirt, maybe neutral colors are a good option, like black, white, navy. But if you already are someone who starts buying clothes, I think for an interview, you want to go for clean colors. Means colors that are very bright in some ways, like a crisp white instead of an off-white. Yeah. So that really makes a difference as well, because men cannot rely on makeup to help them brighten their face. So it's really about their shirts. Unless you want to wear makeup, again, no judgment, right? So it really depends. Yeah. And I think lastly, in terms of the shirt and pants, another question I also get is short sleeve shirts, right? Is it something that is advisable? My answer to that is no. Yeah, it's not. Short sleeve is considered more casual. Maybe as you've already gotten the job and when you go in, you want to do that, entirely up to you. But for an interview session, best to go with a long sleeve. Yeah.
Okay. So would you advise if the gentleman they invest in a good pair of white shirt?
Yes.
Or a light blue shirt, because that's what I normally see, light blue shirt or white shirt, and the pants are either like black pants or navy blue pants, right? That matches well.
Yeah, I think invest in clothing pieces, right, that are easily matched or easily reused, and then only start slowly adding your wardrobe. Because again, I've seen some candidates when we come for the interview prep sessions, I would tell them like, I love the shirt, but when else are you going to be wearing this? It's not usable. It's not reusable friendly. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Rina, like talking
Yeah.
about shirts for guys and pants, what
Mm.
about tie? Is it important to wear a tie?
Yeah, it's very important for them to wear the tie because it will show their professionalism. Yeah,
Mm.
and ties, there's a lot of sizes.
Mm.
Three, I think there should be three sizes lah. In ties, uh, they have like small, they have medium and large. But the standard tie that everybody can wear for the interview is the 3-inch size tie. It
Mhm.
will match for everybody. Yeah, with everybody, with any body shape. Yeah,
Okay.
either they have like a muscle ke, or they have a big size shape ke. Well, 3-inch tie is appropriate for them. Yeah, and the tie color should be either, they need to have red or blue. Yeah,
Mm.
but it depends to the situation. If you're attending for the interview, I don't advise you to wear red color. Yeah,
Mm.
red color is for, actually, for the bosses.
Mm.
We call it boss's tie. Yeah,
Mm.
I call it as a boss's tie. Yeah, whenever you head for the meeting, then you can wear the red tie color.
Mm.
But if you are attending for the interview, I advise for wearing the blue tie color. Yeah, you can go for a stripe, a blue tie color. Yeah,
Mm.
it's more appropriate, or just a plain blue color tie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also like it has to match the shirt you're wearing,
Yeah,
the shirt
it
you're
has
wearing.
to match. Yeah, it has to match the shirt, especially when you are saying just now for
Mm.
men's, they
Mm.
are wearing like a white shirt or light blue shirt, right?
Yeah.
So you have to contrast with the tie colors.
Mm.
If you are wearing, let's say, a white shirt color, so you
Mm.
have to go with maybe darker tie colors. Yeah,
Mm.
maybe dark blue colors with a stripe. All
Yes.
right, or let's say if you are wearing a white, let's say blue, or sorry, white shirt color, maybe you can go for maybe lighter blue color with stripe. Yeah, it's up
Oh,
to you. Yeah,
oh.
but for the interview session, please avoid the red color ties.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not
Mm.
really suit, because it shows, okay, red, it will shows you the empowerment
Mm.
of
Mm.
the person. Yeah, right.
All right. And I heard that there is a link between the tie and the belt. The link means in terms of color,
Mm.
because if you are wearing, or is it the belt and the shoes? Oh no.
Oh, I see. Okay, the matching, yeah. All right, I
Yes, the
know.
matching. Yes.
What you mean is on the matching of belt and shoes, right? Okay,
Yes.
whenever men's, they are wearing belt and shoe, it must be same color. Your belt and shoes. Let's say you're wearing black color shoes, so you have to wear black color belt. They have to
Yes.
go yeah, together. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Uh,
And also the length of the tie.
Mm.
Where
okay.
should the tip of the tie, where should it rest?
It have to rest or land at the buckle. Yeah,
Mm.
the upper buckle of the tie, of the belt.
Okay, so it is necessary to use a belt then.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, Renu, I'd like to
Yeah.
ask about shoes for men, because I heard that people saying that the shoes are the first thing you notice about someone,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is your tip on that?
Okay. I think again, shoes is also something for men, for male candidates, right? That it is not something they pay attention to. But you're right. It's one thing that sometimes for very observant interviewers, that itself can tell you how much you value, or you are prepared in terms of your image. So shoes, right? Before talking about like what type is more appropriate, I think first things first, guys, before you go for your interview, it's very important to make sure it's polished. I think that's
Yeah.
the bare necessity there, really.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when I see some guys looking great, but the shoe obviously has not been polished like ever, it really tells me a lot about how much this person takes care of himself, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of the shoes, I'm going to say first things first. Of course, black is a very safe option. And if you are someone who wants to go non-black, then dark brown instead of lighter colors is okay. The other question I get a lot is whether lace or no lace. Does lace mean it's better or not? Of course, in the hierarchy of formality for shoes, lace is obviously more formal than the ones without. But in Malaysia, it's not so big of a deal at this moment. As long as you're wearing a good leather shoe, it's not overly overly reflective, overly shiny, and it's well polished, I think you're good to go. Yeah. But one important thing that I also want to emphasize for candidates is your socks and shoe matching. I know, again, I've seen in some classes where it's a way for candidates to express themselves, so they wear really funky socks, so cute, with a very striking colors. I think, again, let's go back to the fundamentals of not wanting to be distractive. So make sure that your socks color and your shoes are very similar in tone, if not same. So if you're wearing black shoes, maybe wear a black socks, so that at least there is a continuity in terms of your shoes and socks. I think that's important. The cute socks, leave it to another time. Leave it to a casual time to use it. Yeah.
Okay. So they can't try to be Michael Jackson with white socks, no?
Oh, no. Yeah, you're not pengawas, yeah. Not we're not in school anymore. You can't wear white socks and black shoes, yeah. And I think another one that I want to really emphasize and want to take this opportunity to say is that candidates, please never think that you can get away with not wearing socks, because I have seen it. Even though we find it's common sense, yeah, I should wear socks, right? But I've seen it once or twice, and I feel like, wow, why though? Yeah, I think it's the ankle pants kind of trend where it's either they wear ankle socks or they don't wear socks at all. That's not acceptable. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And Rina, what about your tips for hairstyles for men?
For men's, hairstyle, of course, to be neat, neat and not too much of oil, of course, And nowadays they are wearing, we call it pomade, right? Yeah, the pomade. So the hairstyling is something different from our days before. So I think they have to be like something trending, nowadays. So for men, I suggested that whenever you attending for the interview, so your your hair need to be more inappropriate, meaning more not too trending and not too stylo. Yeah. So it must be like not too much of gel or too much of oily on your hair. Yeah. So make sure you cut your hair. Don't tie up your hair if your hair long. Yeah. If you want to attend for the interview, make sure that you cut your hair before attending the interview. And men's or gentlemen, please, if you are fresh graduate, please do not wear any pierce on your ears. Yeah, please take away. Please take out your whatever earring you're wearing. So if I'm the interviewer, of course I don't take you at all.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not very professional. So you have to show your professionalism. Yeah, to your interviewer. Yeah, the way you speak, your behave, and of course the way you communicate with the interviewer is very important, because they will see all those things. Yeah. So what I would like to stress is your appearance, your behavior, and communication you have to bring while you are attending the interview. It's very important. Yeah, beside your appearance. Yeah, behavior and communication. Yeah, so make sure whenever you answer your interview question, so make sure their eye contact is very important. Please look at their eyes. Yeah, please don't look anywhere else. Yeah, so please concentrate whatever question that they ask you. Yeah, you have to show your level of confidence. Right. that is my tips lah for the candidates.
Yes, I think it's very true.
Mm.
Your eyes, they show your confidence level.
Mm.
Yes.
Sometimes when someone asks you a question and you're not very sure and you start looking down and
Yes.
looking elsewhere, so that shows you're not very confident in answering that question,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
What about Renu? Do you want to add on any other tips for the gentleman?
I think for guys, right, same with what I shared with the women's side, you need to understand how do you want people to view you when you go in. So really having that evaluation in your mind, right, helps you to understand how to create your look when you go in. Because I think a lot of millennials that I meet, right, they always feel that I want to go into the interview looking, having a sense of individuality. I want to make sure that my personality is shown in my attire. You can do that definitely, I think, but it has to be done very tastefully. So think about the other person's point of view, because sometimes first impression is always derived by subconscious stereotypes, right? Example, if you see someone with tattoos all over, the first thing that comes into your mind is that, oh, this person, not sure what this person is doing. It is a very common statement, though it's not true right now nowadays, but it is just a subconscious first impression that you have.
Yes.
So really think about that before you think of what you want to wear and how you want to dress for the interview. Yeah.
Yes.
So for the gentlemen, if they have pierced their ears or their nose, then take off the studs, leave them aside.
Yeah.
And once you
Yes.
come back from the interview, you can use them,
Yeah,
right?
use it back again.
Once you
Yeah.
get the job, then you use them.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I've got a question from one of our LinkedIn connections.
Okay.
This is from Ariva Saran Arjunan. He asks, what
Okay.
color suit and what type should men wear? And the second question is, should I apply lip balm?
Okay. Rina, do you want to share first or?
Oh no, it's okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
all right. So for colors of suit, right, like I mentioned previously, I think if this is Ariva's first suit that he's going to be investing in, I would suggest something more of a navy blue, a dark blue suit, or a dark gray suit for that matter. And the type that he should be wearing really depends on his body frame. So again, if he's a bit more lanky, skinny, tall, petite, then maybe a slim fit suit would look good. But if not, then maybe go for a regular. So I think all these things need to be taken into consideration before he chooses it as well.
Rina, would you like to add on to that?
Okay. Just now you asked about the lip balm, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting question. Okay. Maybe some of the guys, yes, they need to put on the lip balm because of the dry lips, right? They can put on the lip balm, no problem. Yeah, because sometimes those some of us we have the very dry, and whenever you entering the interview, right, the interview session, so probably you feel uncomfortable with your lip dry, so you have to put it on before you enter the interview. So it should be fine, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think that skincare is not only for women, it's
Oh
also
yes.
Yes.
guys do have skin, so they have to take
Yes.
care of them. So there's nothing
Yes.
to be shy
Yeah.
about.
Even more
Yes.
so actually, because for women, at least we can cover our blemishes with makeup. For men,
Yes.
it's just like that, right? So I think
Yeah.
for men, you need to even take care of it even more. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
great. Now, the next question is, I think some of them might ask, what is casual and what is smart casual?
Okay. For me, I think smart casual and casual, the difference is that for smart casual, there is it is what I consider half casual, half formal. And whereas casual is totally, it's kind of what you wear on the weekends. So I think this is a very good and timely question because nowadays a lot of companies are starting to implement smart casual dress codes. And I see a lot of HR departments finding it very difficult to have control of what to limit the associates to wear because everyone's definition of smart casual is very different.
Yes.
The minute the company implements smart casual, the next day you will see some people wearing torn jeans, some stuff like shorts, flip flops. So I think the clear cut I see here is that smart casual means that for me, how I advise people is your bottom half, like your pants, can be a casual one, example jeans, but of course not torn, not those very, I would say like printed ones or whatnot. It's a jeans, but then your top has to be formal. So that is how I see smart casual. That means there is still element of formality there, but casual is basically something you wear on a Sunday with your family. Yeah.
Okay, but when they go for interview, it's best they keep away from jeans and they
Yeah.
just wear
Yeah.
slacks, good slacks and um, good shirt, but
Yeah.
not shirts, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think even if, let's say, you're going for an interview in a startup, I think startups are more lenient when it comes to dress codes. I still think it's just more of like a sign of respect to the interviewer and showing how much you want this job, right? That you're willing to really suit up for it. I think that's the intention of it. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Okay, and just one last question on the bag or the folder that you carry to, which you put your certificates. Any tips on this? Because it's not very nice to bring your certs in a envelope. It's good to put them in a folder and looks more presentable, right? What do you think about this?
Right. I think it's better for a guy or a man, yeah, candidates, they need to bring their document bags, yeah, to put all their certificates. Or if they don't have the document bags, probably they can bring the together with a file that
Yeah.
they need to hold on their right hand side. Yeah. But sometimes men's I saw that they really love to bring the what that they call, yeah, the I can't recall the name of the bag, the something like a document bag,
Mm.
but it's like uh it's a sling on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sling bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm.
a sling bag. Okay. Usually, I don't advise the candidates to bring the sling bag. Yeah, when entering the interview. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing is you have to hold the bag. Yeah, on your on your right hand, and to make sure that there's nothing on to be hold
Mm-hmm.
on the sorry, your document bag need to be hold on your left hand
Left hand,
instead of
yes.
the left hand instead of the right hand,
Yeah.
not right hand, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, as I told you earlier just now,
Mm-hmm.
it same goes to the ladies lah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think like this applies even to the ladies to have a
Yes.
folder, right? Not only
Yeah.
Yes.
to the
Yes.
guys, to the ladies as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
in my previous interview, Puan Hani Bolender, she also said it's good for candidates to bring one or two or three pens.
Yes.
Yes.
If they need
Yes.
to fill in a form or they need to write something,
Yes.
jot down something, it's good to have so that you
Yes.
don't ask the interviewer, can I borrow your pen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So do come equipped.
Yes.
But what is your last say on this topic, Renuka?
I think it is back to the first statement that I mentioned just now. If you ask any hiring managers, is image really important? They would say not as important as substance. But when someone doesn't dress well, that's the first thing they get clocked on.
Yes.
So it is something that is a necessity. People don't think that is something that is out of the ordinary. It's already expected of you. So really just take some time, guys, to think about like how you want to project yourself. This is the first time someone is seeing you. How do you want people to think of you? Yeah, think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rina, what about you?
Yeah, from my advice, that I hope that the candidates really dress to impress the interviewer. Yeah, because if you really want the job, so you have to impress them with
Yes.
your appearance. Yeah, of course with your appearance, because that is their first impression towards them. And
Yep.
Yeah.
secondly, of course, your behavior and communication. And
Mm.
as I told earlier, your eye contact is very, very important. Yeah, while you are talking to them, it's very important. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've got some tips from two image consultants. So essentially, when you go for an interview, you need to be comfortable with what you're wearing because that adds to your confidence level.
Yes.
So when you are underdressed, you feel a bit inferior. Your self-esteem drops. So make sure you are dressed well, and bring your pleasant personality, your beautiful personality along, and do take a bit of trouble to dress yourself well. Right. So I would like to thank Ranukka again. Thank you, Rina, Baha. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and expertise in this field.
Anytime, pleasure, really. Thanks for having us as well. And I hope all the best to the candidates that are applying for a job.
Yeah, thank you, Sumati, inviting me for this session. Yeah, and I hope that all candidates will get some tips from us, and all the best to them.
Okay. In case any of them would like to ask you questions, can they get in touch with you?
Yes.
Yes.
They can get in touch in LinkedIn. Can definitely text us if they need any more advice. Be happy to help.
Yes.
Okay. And great. And Rina, you are
Yeah.
also on LinkedIn?
Yes, they can PM me. Yeah, if they have any question, so probably I can help them with their interview session.
Okay, great, wonderful. So thank you so much for watching this video. At the end, we are also going to share with you some tips on social etiquette, the do's and don'ts when you're attending an interview. We are going to put it up at the end of the video, right? So all the best to you and hope to see you in another episode. Thank you very much.